Coach Rolan, I know right now it's easy to be optimistic. It's early in camp as you go. But what's been just the initial impressions you've had just as the offensive unit that now it is go time? You guys are meeting every day and you're spending a lot of hours around each other.
Yeah, I feel like we have a lot of good leadership right now on our team. I think we've built that over the past couple of seasons with the guys returning and even this one, the new guys coming in and having an impact, pretty quick impact on our team. I feel like that definitely, you can see the ownership, that they have a buy-in for it, a deep care for it, and that's been talked about from Coach Hill, since we've been here, and so you start seeing that. You see that in tough days like today when it's pretty warm outside, a little muggy, and guys pulling for each other, guys encouraging each other, just the little things that really make up, I think, the good stuff of the good teams. So.
You guys as a staff and even as a team, you digest a lot of how last year went and even later December, January, February, and spring ball. And by the time you get here, it's all about moving forward and focusing ahead. But for your group, what were the main point of emphasis, Coach Rolan? Right, we have to be better at this in 2024 from what we learned about in 23.
Yeah, no, that's something we even look back for multiple years in the past too. We're still showing film of quarterbacks from 3 or 4 years ago, and there's some things you want to carry on from the previous couple of years. And Nick Baker's toughness, his grit, that kind of stuff that those guys in the room, really just Hunter now has been able to see and approach that way. I feel like just every game in this league could come down to the last series, the last drive. And that's something where you've got to take pride in. The year before, it was, I think we had the lead in 10 straight games. Went 5-5 in those 10 games 2 years ago. And this past year, not just the last game of the season, but even 2 or 3 there in the middle. I mean, everything's coming down to that last series, and our league is so competitive and tough. So that's probably the biggest thing, is making critical plays, and you don't know when those plays might be. It could be in the second quarter, getting a first down on 4th and 1. It could be at the end of the game, things like that. So it's just critical that they lock in, they understand really the plan, and executing the little things, the details, to make an offense good.
It may sound like a coaching cliche of you need everybody. You mentioned you don't know when the play that may win the game that you need, and you don't know who's necessarily going to have to make it. There may be a lot of attention around certain guys right now in camp, but how important is it from your seat, your position coaches? You're really trying, it's not just you're trying to get 1 or 2 guys, you're trying to get the whole room and everybody prepared, because you never know what a season will bring.
No, you see that even early in training camp. Numbers are up day one. They're going to drop a couple guys in each position group, and that gives the young guys or the new guys great opportunities. And that's, you obviously don't want injuries and things like that, but it does prepare those guys, and it gives us as coaches an opportunity they may not have based on practice planning and stuff to show us. So, yeah, it's, you feel like going into it, you got a pretty deep room in most position rooms in offense. And that's always a good feeling, but at the same time, you're excited to see some guys that you've only seen maybe in just OTAs without helmets and spring ball with some limited stuff going on. So it's a big day every day. It's fun to see who shocks you or who confirms some ideas that you thought were there, and see some guys start to separate themselves from others, and I think they see that too.
Last year, depth up front on the offensive line was a consistent talking point in fall camp, and for the most part, it was a lot of the same names we saw last year, because health-wise, really got the benefit of the doubt there. This year, you get some of those guys back. Where do you feel of maybe there could be potentially a little bit more depth up front? And obviously, Finsky being cleared to go, and no mystery anymore. That's a huge boost right from the start.
So he's cleared?
Yes.
Okay, good to know that. No, it is, this is Dan Clark's year. This is a big year for him. No, it's fun when you can pull the film up and see, hey, our 2s and our 3s, that's not a bad 3 group right there. There's been times here and other places that you barely even have 3s. And so I think we're fortunate to have a pretty good group of guys who have had a lot of experience. I'm not sure the total number of snaps. We were talking about that yesterday, and total number of starts for the O-line. There's a lot of them in there, and that's the best. That's the only way you get better through reps, especially in that room, is playing together and getting reps. There's definitely more competition than there's been, and that's the greatest thing about it. And there's every day, they can watch the film, they can see it, and they can understand that, my job is not secure, even though I may have started last year every game or whatever it may be. And so that's just going to make the room better. Coach Clark does a good job of getting those guys together and playing for each other and caring about each other. But we have a good opportunity this year with depth and with guys not only with experience but with high-level play experience.
Common theme too that I have seen through the past is just at times when you say, hey, there's going to be a quarterback competition, you can even feel within the team certain guys wanting to flow to a certain camp. Doesn't feel that way at all. Granted, I know it's early, had a little bit of part of the spring with Hunter hurt. What's the key to that, Coach Rolan? A lot of it's probably the individuals that are involved in it, but outside of that, is there lessons you've learned from previous quarterback competitions to know where you can maximize it the most to get the best out of it, and also know you can keep moving the team forward and keeping everybody focused?
I think it starts with those two guys individually on just maybe how they're raised or what their background is, and on the situations they've been possibly in the past too at schools and things. But they've both done a great job of. I think Coach Hill talked about that too, of just really being in it together. They understand it, and then after their individual stuff too is now our communication as a group, with the head coach, with me, and with those guys, of being on the same page. We're not trying to keep secrets and between them. We're not trying to create a weird competition that way. We want to communicate it well. We want, and hopefully they want the best one to play. Obviously, it's easier to say right now when there hasn't been a clear-cut decision or anything like that, and we've talked to them the day of first day of fall camp, just individually. But they're just there's great people that care about each other, and they've seen also, and you've seen stories, and you watch the media and the quarterback controversy every year. There's multiple ones across the country at every level, and so you understand like the pitfalls, and I think you just try to prepare it throughout the spring, even and just recruiting DJ or talking to him, and then getting him here and with Hunter, and just as a whole, it's like you understand the situation. There's no trick we're trying to play or anything. We're gonna coach you the same, get you ready, and and there's nobody saying that only this guy's going to play and the other guy's not, or just be the backup. So there's obviously a lot of practices left, a lot of time on the field left, but it starts with those guys and then clear communication with them, and they've done a great job of even just being a little more vocal around the team, around the offense, and that goes a long way.
I've heard a lot of potential, a lot of skill at the wideout position and consistency there. You've always had a Cox to throw to during your time here, and some consistency numbers from that standpoint. But even though VD is really the only one of major notice that comes back, you still have a guy like Alan Middleton, who I think has shown a lot of promise early in camp, I know in the spring and even at portions last year. And then, of course, an incoming of new guys. Where do you see the potential of that room, which you don't want to just be potential, you want to be able to reach it and surpass it?
Yeah, again, it's been a good thing to create more competition in that room. Coach Grant's done a good job getting, I think, just maybe a deeper room of good receivers and athletes, and the guys who've been here, like the Jathans, like the Cal, even guys coming off injuries like Dayton and Cam. Those guys have improved. They've seen that they have to improve even more to play and stuff like that. So I think competition has created a good situation in that room. Yeah, we got the new guys who've been here since spring and gone through the OTAs, have gotten really involved with the team, understand sort of the culture a little bit better, and you feel more comfortable and stuff like that. So, but again, the competition has made them all better. It will continue to do that, and it'd be nice not to play with just 3 receivers in a game, 4 receivers, and I've been a part of places where we can really truly roll 5, 6 guys in, keep bodies fresh in the fourth quarter or on week 10 and stuff like that. So they'll have a big part of it. There's gonna that room, they all want the football. That's the very common theme, and so for them to understand the offense as a whole and how important and valuable their job is when they may not have the football, but the competition part of it, they've been pushing each other all summer. VD does a great job, obviously, being the sort of the old man in the room and things like that. But it'll be hopefully a good next couple of weeks and really solidify some positions out there.
Last year, Coach Rolan, no question, you look at the best offensive games of the year, there were explosive runs. And no doubt Rowe was a huge part of that. He's now gone. Of course, Justin, he's gone as well. But again, you give a guy like LaShawn Lester who's been around, who's got experience, looks like he's gotten in better physical condition as well. And again, you guys have brought some newcomers that are in that have transferred in to really help boost that room. Is that a room where, again, you just can't have one tailback, especially in the Valley. You got to have multiple.
Yeah, I remember hearing that a long time ago as a GA in 2007 at Auburn, and they had just come off the Cadillac, and even Brandon Jacobs was on that team before, and Ronnie Brown. And at that point, it's like in that league and in this league, you got to have 3 to 4 guys in the stable at running back. And, that Coach Warner's brought a couple guys in who I think can contribute to that for sure. You got Benefields, like the seasoned vet. He's looks healthier than he ever has, put on some good weight. He's got the great leadership like a DJ Davis and those guys like that. So then, but yeah, LaShawn, we're all excited for LaShawn. We really believe he has the best ahead of him right now, and he is definitely in the last year and a half has really become more of a complete athlete, complete student athlete, and is only helping him out even more so on the field. So you got a good room there. They're all a little bit different, and but they all can carry the football.
Last group, just to get you on for the final question. I mean, Schwindy was a guy that was talked about a lot in fall camp, and no question, he had moments a year ago where you saw, man, this guy has it. Outside of Schwindy, where can you see that room continue to develop?
Yeah, well, Colton Hogue, I'll call him Hoag. He's been a bright spot, too, for a kid who came in a couple of years ago and really put his head down and really has been a vital part of the team. He'll continue to have big plays and a lot of reps for us in the future. So he's definitely shown that over the last really year since he's been here. And then with Miles Marshall, getting him, he's really grown up a lot, changed a little bit physically from high school, and now that he's put on some weight and knows what to do, all those transitions from a high school program here is great to see. Then we got some new young talent who have looked good the first couple of days. But yeah, with Schwindy, and I can't not talk about AJ, being out right now, but being Coach Griff's right-hand man, I'm getting on him for not sealing well enough and things like that. But he's still a vital part of it as well. But Schwindy, yeah, and part of that is our job as coaches to get him in positions to do what he can that are help our team and help himself. And he's got we're excited to see how we can use him more now that he has definitely got reps and knows it. And if he would just quit sweating a little bit, that would help. Maybe he sweats like I've never seen.